they'd be okay. That's what he did. Hydration will be key. Remember, none of these players have played a full game. Some of them have just played a few snaps. It can get up to 115 degrees down on the field here, so something to watch, Jim.
Thank you, Tracy. Baltimore will receive the opening kick. Michael Campanaro is the returner, and that's been a big subject of discussion during the preseason. Jacoby Jones signing with San Diego in the offseason. Campanaro has never returned a kickoff as a Raven, and of course you're not going to see a lot of action on the kicks out here in the Mile High City. The touchback as expected, and Joe Flacco trots onto the field in his 8th year in the playoffs every year but once. And of course the author of the miracle at Mile High, on his way to winning the Super Bowl MVP award that year. Yanda, 4 times a Pro Bowler. An offensive line, all starters returning this year, and Steve Smith Sr. returning for his final year. He's already declared he's retiring at the end of the season. A throw on the first play, and it's Juszczyk with the catch for a bound 3. Going into that Denver defense for a moment, let's take a peek. You got Antonio Smith, the former Raider last year, longtime Texan, where he was there with Gary Kubiak. Von Miller, many people think he might be the defensive player of the year. They're expecting huge things. Chris Harris, he's picked Flacco a couple of times, including once returning at 98 yards for the longest return in Denver history for a touchdown. And there's the handoff to Forsett, and just a gain of 2. And here's Joe Flacco. He's got a new coordinator this year, Phil. Mark Trestman, the former Chicago Bears coach.
Yeah, I think he likes Mark Trestman, and here's why any quarterback would like Mark Trestman. Because he's very creative on the offensive side, can help the quarterback, of course, put up big numbers. And a little key here today, here's a situation. Can the Baltimore wide receivers get away from this very, very good secondary of the Denver Broncos? They'll need the help of formations that Mark Trestman can dial up for.
2 tight ends in Gilmore and Williams, the rookie out of Minnesota. Pressure from behind. Flacco got it away in time, and a spinning Smith has the first down out at the 35. The ball came out at the end. Roby falls on it, but they say he was already down. Gain of 10. It was DeMarcus Ware right in the back of Flacco when he released it.
This is what they're worried about too, the speed rushers, and Joe Flacco felt it. Threw the football to Steve Smith. 2 things. Boy, big and strong Flacco could get it off, but they moved Steve Smith across the formation to help him get down the field quickly without getting hit.
So out of the eye, Forsett, who burst onto the scene last year after Journeyman's career before that, bouncing off the line and able to get back to the line of scrimmage. He led the league last year in averaging 5.4 yards per carry. What a find he was, and a lot of that having to do with Gary Kubiak. This being the debut of the Gary Kubiak era here as the head coach of the Denver Broncos.
Well, everybody's anxious to see this football team. I know the defense right now, they're excited about their defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips. But the Broncos defense has a chance to be great. They are fast, and they can get to the quarterback on the outside.
So Kubiak notices that Baltimore brings in the rookie running back, Javoris Allen out of USC. He goes by Buck Allen. Taken in the 4th round. They fake to him and they come to the other side. Nice catch there by Smith, trying to get untangled, but he is not down. There's a couple of flying Broncos coming in there looking for an extra hit. Talib on the tackle, gain of 3.
They can see the pressure, even when you do bootlegs, that the pressure is going to be on the quarterback. Aqib Talib loves to sit back, watch the quarterback, and that helped him that time, because it's tough to bring Steve Smith down in the open field.
It could be pretty chippy between these two, Smith and Talib. A lot of history there from Smith's days at Carolina, Talib at Tampa, where they met 8 times and they had a few scrapes. 3rd and 7. And Flacco from the pocket. And he was trying to find Aiken across the middle, but the Broncos had it well defended.
A couple things went on in that play. It's a blitz by Wade Phillips. Joe Flacco saw it. He felt the pressure, and that's why that football was off target. And, of course, the excellent pass coverage makes it tough, too.
You're looking at Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to be their punt returner. A lot of talk about that here in Denver. People say, why risk injury And of course, he was so limited during training camp with a hamstring.
I'm with him, Jim. You know, he's too important to the offense to take a chance.
It's Cook. Had a magnificent net average last year, earning the fair catch at the 14. 48-yard punt. And Peyton Manning coming back onto the field. We last saw him here in the playoffs against Indianapolis. We didn't know if he would return, but here he is. First snap of the season will come out of the gun with 3 wideouts. Jordan Norwood, the extra receiver, and the handoff at to Anderson. He's out to about the 17. Well, Bill, I said it going to break. Peyton 10-1 in his last 11 against Baltimore. The Ravens winning that incredible epic game here on their way to winning the Super Bowl. That was the Manning loss in that stretch. And he had 7 touchdowns, though, in the opener the next year against him here. He's throwing to Demaryius Thomas. He should have on the spot the first down and a gain of 8.
No matter how long you've been in this league, as a quarterback, there's nothing like getting that first completion. And this is not an easy one. We see Jimmy Smith on Demaryius Thomas. That's a matchup we could see all day long.
So it did pick up the first. And now they go 4 wides. And Anderson, who absolutely exploded at the end of last season, picks up 5 with that one. Rebuilt offensive line. They got some stability, though, when they signed Evan Mathis a couple weeks ago, the former All-Pro from Philadelphia. And Demaryius Thomas has that big 5-year contract coming off of 3 consecutive fabulous seasons. 2nd and 5.
So much for this new offense. You're going to grind it out. Well, you're playing the Ravens. You attack it by spreading it out and doing just what the Broncos are trying.
Manning's pass over to Anderson, knocked out of his hands on the hit by Darrell Smith. This Baltimore defensive Dean Pease. Of course, Haloti Ngata traded in the offseason to Detroit. Brandon Williams, though, he will be a huge force on that defensive front. Mosley, what a rookie year he had. First Raven rookie to ever be voted to the Pro Bowl. Jimmy Smith, you already talked about him, Phil. Out of the University of Colorado. Demaryius Thomas is not in on this play. Andre Caldwell takes his place. Able to fire that one in there to Emmanuel Sanders for a gain of 6 and another first.
Well, little change up on the defensive side. What they do, a 3-man rush, which I never think is a good idea against a really good veteran quarterback. Why? Because Peyton knows it's a 3-man rush. It's zone, so he's looking for that guy that hooks up just like that in between everybody.
Owen Daniels split out wide to the left.
Can. 51. Omaha!
And as Williams plowing into Paradis.
As Peyton told us, he's the master of the snap count. Why does he use it? They keep defensive players honest, especially pass rushers.
Gene Steratore, the referee.
Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Okay, Peyton, you talked about in the open, Phil, about all this speculation. What was he going to look like? So many people wondering, because at the end of last year, he had that thigh bruise that really curtailed his entire game, affected his passing. It did not look like the Manning we've always known.
Wide! Hey, set!
He's got a beautiful day to throw the football, and he's looked sharp on a couple of these throws early. 1st and 5. They'll give it to Anderson for a yard.
Well, you know, I'll just say this, and here's what really alarmed everybody. I think the fact I was surprised when he didn't wear the glove in the preseason. Peyton admitted it to us somewhat on Friday when we were talking to him. He just wasn't crisp throwing the football. It got away from him a couple times, and that's what alarmed everybody in the NFL, maybe the fans. Hey, listen, it caught me by surprise, but we saw him on Friday with the glove, Jim, and he was as sharp as we saw him last year before he got beat up.
On 2nd and 4, looking for other options, and now on the run. Just throws it away. It got an update. Let's send it back to JB in the studio.
Hey, Jim, a good start for Marcus Mariota. A lot of stuff going on in this game. Here you go, 52-yard touchdown pass to Kendall Wright on their first series. Jameis Winston came out on the field. He threw an interception. The Cody Sensabaugh 26-yard interception return. Titans have an early 14-0 lead over the Bucs. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wolfson.
Boy, what a start there for Tennessee. Miserable beginning there for Winston and the Bucs. 3rd and 4 for the Broncos from the 42. Again, Manning with some zip on it. Gets it to Sanders to the Baltimore side of the field. Picks up 13 and a first.
Well, again, what it was, they just got everybody looking one way, and Emmanuel Sanders comes across the field, and Peyton Manning, this offense, they are great. Short routes across the field throwing the football. He is tremendous at this, and you've got to let your guy go. Keep your eyes on Peyton Manning and let the receiver come to you. That time they didn't do it.
Ronnie Hillman comes into the backfield. He had a big camp. Pass deflected at the line, incomplete. And a flag is down in the secondary.
Ball's tipped, so they'll probably, I would think, pick it up.
There is no flag for pass interference as the ball was tipped by the defense. 2nd down.
A couple times here today, they got good pressure up the middle on Peyton Manning one time, and this is what you want to do. Baltimore, as I've said, they're not a great pass rushing team. Stay in front of the quarterback. Raise your hands when you get a chance. Chris Canty, big man, does a good job.
2nd and 10.
Black 80! Black! Hey, set! Kid! 2 on 5! Check it. Arrow! 2 on 5! Omaha, set!
Back in the Omaha business, in the handoff to Hillman. Sprints ahead for 7. How about the merging of the schemes of what Peyton's been accustomed to, and everybody knows Gary Kubiak has his own style of offense?
I think it's a great marriage, Jim. I do, because you got to be able to do just about everything in this league now. We know that Peyton Manning, this offense, can spread it out and do what we've seen so far today, but there's going to be games where it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be truly Gary Kubiak's system where they're going to run the football, do a little bit of play action, and control the game, and then let their defense go to work once they get a lead.
It's 3rd and 3. Manning has already twice converted on 3rd down on throws to Sanders, who was a little gimpy walking back to the huddle that last time. But he's looking for him here. And for the 3rd time, Emmanuel Sanders converts.
Emmanuel Sanders, you said it, returning kicks, whatever. But he was out in the preseason with the hamstring injury, top of your screen. And we saw him in practice Friday. And look, practices are one thing, but still, he was spectacular. And all the guys were laughing on the team. He had fresh legs, and he has shown it so far here today how quick and how fast he's running.
Arrow! Omaha!
Play action. Rolling out. And the man was open. Demaryius Thomas. Sanders with the 3 catches.
You know you're working to be the best when you got a jug machine at your house.
He's got the jug machine at the house.
I mean, this is unbelievable. And this is what the league has turned into. This is why you see so many wide receivers that are just unbelievable when it goes to going up and getting the football, because they practice their craft all the time. Be interesting, what do you do on 3rd down? Nothing has worked for Baltimore yet. This time they blitz.
2nd and 10. And it's Anderson wrapped up behind the line by Lawrence Guy for a loss of 1.
Well, that's why they did so well, wasn't 3rd down. 2nd down. But Baltimore, too, you know, Jim, Tracy talked about the opening of the game. It's hot down there. And when you look down the field, maybe it's the uniforms. I don't think so. I think it's the weight. But they are a big football team, especially on defense. You keep them out there, altitude, they could tire out quickly as this game goes along.
14th play of this first Denver series.
57's Mike!
Baltimore, excellent blitzing team.
Whistles before. And it's going to back up the Broncos another 5.
Don't start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now. That 5 yards pushes the football back to just inside the 39, so it could be important if they have to settle for a long-range field goal try. That last penalty putting him right on the edge, even at altitude. Of course, change of possession on the miss. Let's see what they can do here on 3rd and 16.
Well, they fake the blitz and come out of it.
Gunning it long to Sanders, and he overthrew him. Sanders racing down the left sideline. Kyle Arrington came blitzing in on Manning.
Kyle Arrington's going to come on the blitz on the outside. Here goes the route. If Peyton Manning just has a half a beat more, I think he's going to throw it higher and softer, and it's going to be a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders just outrunning everybody so far from his wide receiver position.
No question, Arrington influenced that pass. And it's going to be a 57-yard attempt for McManus.
Easy.
You're not kidding. He drills it. Brandon McManus from 57 yards out. Broncos kept the football for over 6 minutes, 15 plays, resulting in the long-range field goal by McManus, who beat out Connor Barth in camp to earn the job here in Denver for the second time. The expected touchback.
Welcome back to Denver. An update on the Ravens offensive line. Left tackle Eugene Monroe is out with a concussion, Jim.
Wow, that's big. James Hurst moves into left tackle position. That entire Ravens starting 5 back from a year ago. Monroe's such a valuable part of it. He's out for the game, as you just heard, and Forsett has a pickup of 3. Monday, September 21st, the season's most unique new family comedy comes together. Life in Pieces, premiering right after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. So what about this offensive line now? What does it mean to them without Monroe?
Well, it's huge. Your left tackle, he's one of your stalwarts. He's got to go against the speed rushers, DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Now it limits your play calling because you've got to try to help him out as much as you can with a running back or a tight end.
Empty backfield, Flacco surrounded by pressure and able to get rid of it in time as Von Miller in the area, and once again Flacco hits the deck.
It is collapsing fast in this defense. We've said it, they love the blitz. Why do you want to blitz? Well, Wade Phillips likes to, but also it lets guys like Von Miller, you cannot double team him, and he's so fast that you get run over as a tight end, as a tackle, because you're worried about his speed going outside.
Marlon Brown comes into the Ravens lineup. Lined up on the left side on 3rd and 7. Flacco again taken down by Brandon Marshall. Able to break off the attempt to pick him up by Justin Forsett. Marshall got around him, knocks him down for a loss of 7.
I think Brandon Marshall's inside, and he comes on the blitz, and he just beats the running back. That's what happens. If you're the running back, you see the blitz coming, you have to get up in there, get in his face, and square up. Hit him at an angle, no chance to make that block against Marshall.
Sam Cook's first punt traveled 48 yards. Resulting in a fair catch the first time. Run back opportunity for Sanders. 51-yard punt, and the return by Sanders. Good for about 13. So they'll start the second series of the game. Denver will, near midfield. That defense stirred early all over Joe Flacco. The line judge, Gary Arthur, was knocked down during that punt return just after the punt. He was on the near side here.
Here he is down at the bottom of the screen. Gets hit. Of course, he's not expecting it, can't control himself, and just flies into the ground.
Yeah, just lands right on that left shoulder.
You see the white paint from hitting the ground so hard on his head.
Let's bring in Mike Carey back in New York, our rules expert. And this doesn't happen all that often, Mike, but what are the contingency plans if you're down one of the officials?
Now, luckily, in the fourth week, they practice six-man mechanics, simulating the referee going down. This is the line judge going down. What they will do is they'll eliminate the back judge position and move someone to the line of scrimmage. And so, well, you'll have 6 men covering where 7 men covered before.
What does that change, Mike? Is it take the eyes off of something that could really be a factor in the game as far as defensive backs, receivers?
Yes, it takes the guy in the middle of the field, downfield, away from the game, which gives a little bit of vulnerability to the tight ends or the strength of the offense. When you have trips to the side, the back judge always has a third guy in. So it's a little more vulnerable to the passing game.
Okay.
He's in so much pain, he's going to take the cart inside and get some treatment. And who knows, I've never really seen many occasions, Mike Carey, where an official has left the game but come back. But of course they can do that.
Yeah, that can happen. But it doesn't happen very often. First, people don't go down often. And if they do, if they're carried off in the cart, it's pretty serious.
You know, Mike, it didn't look like anything was really illegal. It wasn't much the Baltimore Ravens player could do. He was pushed at the last second, and he was kind of protecting himself against the official that time, I thought.
Yeah, it's part of the hazard of the game. You get caught up in the mix of some big players, you're going to take a hit every now and then. And as you said before, it's rare, though. But everybody is trained to work 6-man mechanics. They'll have good coverage in this game.
Well said. Well, that's pretty interesting, Jim, that they did it in the 4th preseason game just in case a situation like this happens. Great job, Mike.
I wish Gary Arthur well. Tough way to start the season. The refs saw him before the game. They're just as excited as the fans about getting the season started. And on first down, here's the Gibbs to Anderson, unable to break out of a wrap-up. Picks up a couple, and that's Brandon Williams on the stop. You look at the last 4 season openers for Peyton. 15 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Well, they remember the last time here a couple years ago, all those touchdowns he threw in the opening night game of the year. So far, this offensive line, a big conversation during the offseason. They look pretty good against this big Baltimore front.
2nd and 8. He's got another first down. The catch by Owen Daniels. A Raven a year ago and a longtime Texan.
Well, good protection. Owen Daniels outside, just knows, such a veteran, knows how to slow it down, fit his way into zones, and what a good resource he's been for Peyton Manning since he's been here. He knows the offense very well, and he tells Peyton little secrets how it's been with him at Houston and last year in Baltimore, what to look for and how to do it.
That's 105 straight games. Daniels has caught a pass. That's the top active streak for all tight ends in the league. Virgil Green comes in for him on first down. A blitzing, a pass tipped, incomplete. Darrell Smith got a hand on it. Be there for the start of its biggest year yet. The Big Bang Theory premieres Monday, September 21st, right here on CBS.
Well, you know, everybody keeps talking about the football. How's he going to throw it, even though this is tipped? Downwind, nice spiral. It's going to be right on target. Coverage is tight, but Jim, you said to me during the break, hey, it's a beautiful day. Peyton looks pretty good throwing the ball, so kind of answer some of those questions and move on to looking for that chance to throw it deep down the field.
2nd and 10. And the short pass is caught by Demaryius Thomas. It's a gain of 4. Here's a look as you see the full 22 and all the officials. The back judge still in position way back there at the 9-yard line.
Right, here he is way back there, just barely him on the screen. And you don't see the umpire. Well, he's back, so yeah, they've done a good job adjusting, keeping somebody deep.
3rd and 6. Well, on coverage, no flag. Trying to hook up with C.J. Anderson. It was Mosley on the coverage.
Well,
it's going to bring McManus out for another long field goal.
C.J. Mosley, I don't know if I would like this matchup no matter what. It's good coverage. C.J. Mosley's all over it. So that's a good no call.
You don't think he had his arm around his neck?
Well, again, every time you watch a replay, you can call pass interference. I don't think that a hindrance to the catch. He saw it, was in great position to defend it.
56 yards, 1 yard shorter than the make earlier in this quarter. And McManus this time drills it again. How about those 2 kicks in the first quarter? One from 57, this from 56. Before today, the last time they made one from 50 out was back in 2012 at Temple University. We're both resulting in Brandon McManus field goals from outside of 50.
Doesn't it feel different, though? I know it's still Peyton's in the shotgun, but the tempo of the game, it is different under Gary Kubiak. You can already sense and feel it and see it.
Well, your weekend starts here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Peyton and the Broncos 4 days away from a matchup at Arrowhead against Alex Smith and the Chiefs, fresh off a big win down in Houston today. Right here on your home of Super Bowl 50, CBS Sports.
Chiefs played well all preseason and carried it into the opening game down in Houston.
So after 2 field goals by McManus, 50-plus, and 3 touchbacks, back at the 20 for the Ravens. And that's Forsett for 4. Running into a Denver defense that's got a new coordinator this year coming back to the Mile City is Wade Phillips, the great Wade Phillips.
He said, hey, I wasn't going to sit out long. He had many job offers, so he got back here. Here's the best quote I heard about Wade all week, though, Jim. Von Miller said his delivery of information is just awesome. It makes you feel good. It makes you believe. It makes you love football. You can feel the excitement from all the Bronco defensive players about Wade Phillips.
And this time, stopped for a loss. Marshall knocks down Forsett. And Miller talking about better mental clarity, just very positive around the defensive group from Denver this year about making big plays, sacks and takeaways.
Well, it showed in the preseason. It's already out on display here in this first game. I think if the Baltimore Ravens can't run the football somewhat consistently, then they're in for a long, tough day because you can't block them, and I don't know if they can get away from these defensive backs on a consistent basis.
Forsett, 5 carries, 8 yards. This defense was number 2 in the league last year against the rush. Flacco tucks it under, now trying to escape, but can't. Dragged down from behind by DeMarcus Ware.
That could have been a horse collar when I saw it at first. Even though it could be in the pocket, that's no horse collar, but I thought maybe Joe Flacco was outside.
That's going to end the quarter. Actually, Denver called a timeout there, Phil, with 5 seconds to go in the quarter. We were just discussing, was he out of the tackle box area, was Flacco or not? Because that was a horse collar tackle. You can do that inside
the pocket.
But
it was close. So when it's close, you don't call it. Why did Denver call a timeout? Because there is a breeze. It's into the face of the Baltimore Ravens, and they want to take advantage of this punt, get better field position.
Cook standing at the goal line.
Good timeout by Gary Kubiak there.
Cook to punt into the wind. He sends a spiral, though, all the way back near the 30. Heck of a job by Cook, defeating Denver's plans with that timeout. He boomed it 54 yards. First quarter has come to an end. 6-0 Broncos. Flacco's been sacked on his last 2 third downs. Ware was the one who got him, but I'm going to show you that might have been outside of the tackle box for sure, as Manning now's in trouble. Somehow flings it over to Owen Daniels. It's a catch, but it's a loss of a couple. Let's go back to that Flacco sack.
Well, watch number 71. That's Wagner, the right tackle. Does Joe Flacco get outside of him? That would be outside the tackle box.
So he's 2 or 3 yards inside the hash
Yes.
mark. Okay, so let's see where Flacco falls down. He's right at the hash mark.
Yeah. So, but you know, it happened quick. It was somewhat close, and I'm sure that's why the flag was not thrown. But a dangerous. You can see why they outlawed that type of tackle, because that's dangerous no matter who is being dragged down.
2nd and 14. Double screen for Andre Caldwell. Only picks up 1 or 2. Elvis Dumerville was able to drag him down. Let's take a look at next gen stats presented by Esurance.
Well, one matchup we expected to see: Jimmy Smith, Demaryius Thomas. First one goes to Thomas, and Emmanuel Sanders. Look for this all day long. Speed going across the field. Hard to stop him in situations like that.
He's moving on that right side. And was it Daniels or was it Dumerville?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Don't miss the man who has everyone talking. It's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert tomorrow. Stephen's got Emily Blunt, and Tuesday, Jake Gyllenhaal. Only CBS.
Twice the Ravens have jumped off sides on the defense. This put a big difference between 3rd and 14 and 3rd and 9.
Buckets! 57's Mike!
57.
His target got his first down. Demaryius Thomas. All kinds of separation.
Now, you know Peyton Manning sees the blitz, and he's going to protect himself, especially up the middle, to give himself that extra little second. But look how far Jimmy Smith is off Demaryius Thomas. If you know it's a blitz and it's 3rd and 9, you got to get up there and not let him catch it and run for 5 yards before you make the tackle. Easy for me to say, but that's what they expect from Jimmy Smith.
3rd catch for Demaryius. That one gains 11. And this time it's going against the Broncos.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
On the newly acquired Mathis. Let's go back to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. The line judge, Gary Arthur, who we saw go down, has a broken collarbone. He is obviously out, and they will continue, as you mentioned, with just 6 officials on the field. Jim?
Tracy, thank you.
You gotta reconvene. Good high. 180. What is it?
15, looking for any kind of crease. And Ronnie Hillman has 1. Mathis got flagged for that last penalty, but boy, did he bring some experience to this offensive line that, you know, has a rookie left tackle and Sam Brilo. You've got Paradis, who was on the practice squad last year. Yeah, quite a signing for them.
Changed everything. It changes their offensive line. I think it has the potential to be very good.
2nd and 14, and Manning gets swamped at the last moment. That was Albert McClellan flying in there at the quarterback.
Yeah, watch him. He's going to delay the blitz. He waits, and when he waits, the center, the interior lineman Parrott is too quick to go help out, and that's what causes the sack. This is what we saw a little bit, Jim, during the preseason. Some communication that's not perfect and you're playing a blitzing team. So you, as an offensive lineman, be patient. When nobody's there, just wait. Somebody's going to show up.
Is that part of that inexperience we just addressed?
Absolutely. You know, you're young. You want to play fast. You just can't wait to hit somebody, and it caused a mistake.
3rd and 22. Manning just throws it away as Doomerville was in the backfield.
Well, overall, that was an excellent defensive stand by the Ravens. And, you know, when you're at home, if you just watch them, they line up in so many different formations. They're always trying to create a little match. They got the sack on Peyton Manning, and they're very good at stopping inside screens, as we saw in that 3rd down play.
Steve Smith will be the returner. Actually, when he first came into the league out of the University of Utah, he kind of made his mark initially as a returner at Carolina before becoming big-time receiver. Colquitt, Britton Colquitt, sends that to the sidelines. That punt traveled 37 yards. We haven't had a play of 15 yards to this point, and no offense has reached the opponent's 20. 6-0 Denver. Week 1 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC. Giants and Cowboys tonight, and then Monday night doubleheader on ESPN. And then Week 2 will kick off Thursday night on CBS and NFL Network. Denver at Kansas City. Now, this Baltimore offense gone 18 minutes without a first down.
Well,
without their left tackle. Hurst had starts last year, by the way, including in the playoffs, so he's not an inexperienced player, but what must they do?
Well, listen, the speed of the defense, they can't handle it so far. What would I like to see him do? Block it up and let Joe Flacco get extra time and throw some footballs down the field.
Buys time, gets it away for set. Foul driven at the 42 by Trevathan. Picks up 7.
Danny Trevathan, Brandon Marshall, they are smart and they are fast. Look at they attack. The only thing that worries you about these inside linebackers, they're not the biggest in the NFL, and they're so ferocious, Jim. You just always wonder, can they make it through these long NFL schedules because of how hard they play?
Yeah, they both, Trevathan especially, battled injuries all last year. 2nd and 3. They go up the middle. Forsett has the first down. So that drought is over as Mark Trestman, the new offensive coordinator, taking over for Gary Kubiak, getting quite a test here in his debut.
Oh, he sure is. I mean, this is everything you don't want to go up against opening day. A defense that has multiple speed rushers on the outside, that has the best pair of corners in the NFL. They know it. I think everybody knows it. Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, and you're short your #1 draft pick at wide receiver, Perriman. So you're asking Steve Smith and Joe Flacco to do a lot.
Perriman out with a knee. They hope to have him back next week. Where very nearly got to Flacco. Hughes check. Paddling out to about the Denver 47 and a gain of 4.
Boy, how quick is DeMarcus Ware? 94 coming around the edge. Wade Phillips had him down in Dallas years ago and said, when I came to Denver, I saw him, we practiced, and I go, oh my gosh, he's exactly the same as he was down in Dallas. What a statement to say how good DeMarcus Ware takes care of himself.
Boy, he looks really fresh today.
Ooh.
He comes out, Miller comes out.
You'd like to think a quick screen pass to the right that you could slow down the backside pass rusher, but Baltimore lucky that this pass rush hasn't resulted in a turnover for their offense.
Shane Ray, the rookie first rounder, comes in for those linebackers as well as Shaq Barrett. Here's the handoff, and Baltimore has another first down. That is Buck Allen, the first NFL carry for the rookie out of Southern Cal, goes for 8.
Yeah, I like this guy. He might fit this running game really. Jeremy Zuda, the center, nice job of sealing it off. But Buck Allen, like that name, and you could be a star with a name like that.
No question.
But you could see he can run low, big legs, has some power, and maybe break some arm tackles of a fast, undersized defense.
That's the longest rush of the game for the Ravens. Allen stays in, gets another carry. Here he goes. This time diving ahead for 3. Ravens opening up with 2 games on the road and both out west. First at Denver and then at Oakland. They're not going to go home. They're going to stay in San Jose this week. Practice there is Allen. It's thrown down 3 yards short of the first by David Bruton.
David Bruton getting up close to the line of scrimmage and playing just like T.J. Ward, who was suspended for this game. That's a big miss for this defense because T.J. Ward is so physical and a really good tackler. But a good job that time by Bruton.
Forsett back in on 3rd and 2.
I'd be alert for run.
It is Forsett, and they've got him low right away. Von Miller along with Marshall.
That's what they were thinking. Wade Phillips, an aggressive coach, knows the situation, and so instead of just lining up, we'll take on the run, send the blitz, outnumber them, and give them no chance to pick up this first down.
Interesting. They keep the offense on the field on 4th and 3. They got one of the best kickers in the game in Justin Tucker. And it would be about a 52-yard field goal for Tucker. But they're going to go for it. Denver's trying to call a timeout.
Oh. John Harbaugh was getting ready to call the timeout. Denver beat him to it.
That's charged to the Broncos. Well, the offense was still out there, and just at the last moment, you can see Steve Smith trotting off the field. They switch it out, and they bring Tucker out for the 52-yard attempt.
Yeah, this is the right call. Your defense is finally in the game for the Baltimore Ravens. Get some points on the board, and then make Denver start from their own 20 when you kick it out of the end zone.
52, Tucker. Beautiful kick. Of course, he hit that 47-yard game winner in double overtime here back in that divisional game back in the 2012 season.
Just a 70-yard kick. That'll get you warmed up and confident.
Ravens on the board. .6:42 to go in the first half. No touchdowns to this point. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson.
Well, I don't know if Gary Kubiak is happy with the way the game has gone so far, but I know that John Harbaugh was hoping for a grinded-out game just like this.
Longest play in the game has been a thrilling 13 yards. There's another touchback. This one earned by Tucker. It's really an interesting coming full circle, if you will. John Elway bringing his old pal, his camp roommate, when they were rookies back in '83, as backup quarterback, the man who was calling the plays for Elway when he won those 2 Super Bowls, bringing Gary Kubiak back home.
Yeah, listen, Gary Kubiak coached him at the end of his career. He has great faith in him, and I think it just comes down to this. They want to see the football team change to a team that's tough and rough and physical late in the year in playoff time, and you definitely didn't see that late last year or in the playoff game to Indianapolis.
Go up the middle, and Anderson has 5 with that one. Again, they came in '83. Elway with that toll trade with the Colts, ending up here after on draft day. And Gary Kubiak was an 8th round pick that year out of A&M. But look at some of the guys who have all come back here off the '90 Broncos.
How about that? They all came here. They all left here with young children, and these coaches, they came back with grandchildren. So whatever union, and really, I think they all enjoy each other's company a lot, and it just makes you coach harder.
And there's a sack by the Ravens. C.J. Mosley.
There you go again. It's at C.J. Mosley stood there. He waited for a half a beat, number 57, coming off the outside, and they mess up the protection. This reminds me of the 3rd preseason game against the San Francisco 49ers, that they had some free runners at Peyton Manning, and that's going to be the big kink that they're going to have to work out of this offense, Jim. You didn't see these free runners last year when you faced this offense. so far this year in preseason. And today, we've seen a few.
The first rounder a year ago out of Alabama with that sack. 3rd and 11. There's Manning's pass, and it's a good one to Sanders for the first down. That's now 4 conversions by Sanders in this first half. This one for 17.
Well, my favorite, what was it, Jim? It was a 3-man rush. So when you get he had so much time. Watch Sanders go down here, break it outside, and watch the defense short and deep, and nobody in between. Oh, that is a beautiful route. Beautiful route. The corner said the safety's going to get him. And then he comes right back outside and beats Darius Webb.
Yeah, that again on 3rd and 13. Longest play of the game to this point is Anderson. As contact waiting for him right away. Gain of 1. Brandon Williams tackle. Anderson, that last 6 weeks of the season, he was the second, he's most rushing yard, but in so many different categories, he was either the first or second best running back in the stretch drive last year.
Well, that's why he's there. That's why they got rid of Ball. And I'll tell you what, I said to him, what if it's tough running? He goes, look, I got to understand if it's tough at the beginning, be patient. Sooner or later, it'll work out.
Sanders is swung down by Jimmy Smith. C.J. Anderson, though, he knew that there was a very high probability he'd see a lot of carries this season, even telling us it would be disrespectful for me to not be productive in this offense.
How about that? Because, well, you know, and I understand what he's saying because they clarified him, Jim, as the man. And he is the focal point of the running attack. It's a great responsibility, and I have no question he's ready to handle it.
Prepared all off season to get ready for a 25-plus carry kind of average, he was thinking. And now this is the 5th time we've had a pre-snap flag when the Broncos are on offense.
Start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty.
They called it on Peyton.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he made a head gesture, his hands. The crowd saw a replay that we haven't yet. Of course, they're always unhappy when the call goes against their football team.
And Peyton still furious.
Well, let's see what he does. Does he jerk his hands? Is it his... Oh, boy. That is, to me, that's not on Peyton Manning. He barely... Did you see anything, Jim?
No, there's really nothing.
Yeah, when you scream and call out a signal, of course you got to move a little bit. So... But it's an unused utensil that quarterbacks don't do enough. He is still, he's great at it. He knows how important it is to use that step count.
3rd and 10, will it be Sanders again? Manning. He is sacked for a loss of 2. Mosley with 2 sacks on this series.
Well, C.J. Mosley, 57. He is the speed player. Here he comes. That's where they get their speed. They're linebackers and blitzing. That's what they do on passing situations. Is it coverage? Hey, when you pressure the quarterback, even if somebody's open, you can't find them sometimes.
Well, this Baltimore defense has really settled into this game nicely.
They got some rhythm now. The only mistake is that 3-man rush. I don't think we'll see that again today in a big situation.
12 and Colquitt. Tower and Boot. Down to 15 Smith. Grabs hold of it there. 50-yard punt. What a series by C.J. Mosley. He got to Manning on 2 occasions on that drive.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights, as well as a preview of the season debut of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
Now, I keep waiting for Joe Flacco to air one out.
Flacco 5 of 7 in this game for 27 yards. Peyton's been sacked 3 times today. It's already the most since 2 seasons ago.
And really, everybody says it, even every defensive coordinator and defensive pass rusher. He's tough to sack because he reads the defense and, of course, gets rid of the football quickly.
And they come to the 2-minute warning. You start subtracting yardage because of sacks. Baltimore, total offense, 38 yards so far. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, we've had no offense here at all. 84 yards for the Broncos, 38 yards for the Ravens thus far.
Well, I think coming into today's game that we both believed and the coaches believed that, hey, these are going to be really good defenses. Well, let's don't get carried away here. There's more to be done, but protecting the quarterback, especially a guy like Joe Flacco, so we can see him throw the football down the field.
He's got a 2nd and 10. Again, they're blitzing in there. The completion is for no gain. Fourth set.
Because there's not time. If Joe Flacco doesn't catch it and throw it, he's going to the ground.
Actually give him a yard.
But you got to be safe as a quarterback and as a play caller, realizing it's late in the first half. It's 6-3. Do not take a chance.
Toss it over to the side to Aiken, and he is wrapped up by Chris Harris Jr. Denver has only one timeout left, and they've just taken it here. The 4th down coming up with 1:16 to go in a half. Peyton will be getting the football back here with no timeouts, run a little 2-minute offense.
Something he's done, a couple thousand times in his career. We watch it in practice every time we go. They're always efficient. Plenty of plays to choose from.
It's Cook. And this one down the left sideline.
It's kind of like a college kick. You notice he's moving and he's kicking it end over end, but he tried to be too perfect.
Brandon McManus, the place kicker, caught it out of bounds for Denver. That one for 40. As you see our guys back on the set, getting ready to bring you the Verizon halftime report with the scores and the highlights and the, again, preview of the Thursday night football game on CBS and NFL Network, Broncos and Chiefs.
Well, the new sit looks great for the guys back there, and this will give the Denver offense a lot of momentum going into the locker room. They can just squeeze 3 points out of this. Heck, all you got to do is gain 10 yards. And they'll have a chance to kick a field goal. But the last few possessions have been rough.
Protection this time. Managed pass on the mark. And that's Jordan Norwood with the catch. His first catch since the 2012 season.
One-on-one against Kyle Arrington. It's really a zone, and Kyle Arrington just reads it. A little late breaking out, but you said it, Norwood. How about that? Him being in the slot is so important because it lets Emmanuel Sanders stay outside where he wants to play.
Norwood coming into this game as their number 3 receiver. Again, he last played in 2012. He got waived in camp in 2013 by both Cleveland and Tampa.
Had a really good, strong preseason, Jim, catching the ball, running routes, and a really tough blocker for a guy that's not very big.
From the 45 of the Ravens. Norwood takes a lick from Lardarius Webb.
Well, that football definitely got away from Peyton Manning. Sometimes when you're trying to be quick with it as a thrower, let's see if it falls out the side of his hand. Kind of hard to tell, but just the way it went to the ground tells me it did. Yep, look at the nose going down. So that's always a sign that it comes out the side of your palm. Man, any quarterback can understand that and see it because it happens to everybody, but it happened to Peyton because it was quick and he didn't get his legs under him as much as you see him when he throws it down the field.
He's 12 out of 21 for 86 yards. And he's been sacked 3 times. 2nd and 10. Norwood again, setting up in field goal range near the 29. Picks up 15.
Beautiful job that time. The offensive line did a nice job, picked up the blitz. Peyton Manning got that little hop underneath him, and he put the football on target.
Instant contact, but the catch by Sanders for 5.
And all you do now on defense, let them catch it, stay back, don't go for a double move, make them kick the field goal.
Again, no timeouts, and 25 seconds to go. From the 25. Manning going for the touchdown, and just a little out of reach for Sanders.
Just what I said. What would you be thinking? Don't let them go deep. Not only Sanders, it looks like James Casey. No, it's Owen Daniels. Look at him going down the middle of the field. He's got C.J. Mosley one-on-one. And again, Sanders just running by everybody, Jim.
Peyton, that close. This is actually the first time either side, either offense has been inside the opponent's 30. And we've got 19 seconds left in quarter number 2.
He's great. He knows he's in field goal range, Peyton Manning. Look for the shot down the field.
There it is. Over the top and incomplete. Norwood well covered up that time.
Yeah, nothing there. That was a standard defense you see in the NFL.
Will Hill III was back there.
Yeah, Darryl Smith, the linebacker, 54, gets so deep. That's what really ruins the play. And Manning just, you throw it, hoping for pass interference.
We got Andre Caldwell on that play.
Oh, down the right sideline, yes. Got everybody looking to the other side. But don't forget, there was a safety down that sideline with Andre Caldwell, too.
43 yards for McManus, and he's good again. (9-3) Denver with 9 seconds to go in the half. Total offense in this first half, Phil, both teams combined 152 yards.
Man, these defenses, they're getting even, Jim. For all the years where they just had to put up with the rule changes, it's taken them a while to adapt, but this year there's about 7 or 8 defenses in the NFL this year that I think have a chance to be absolutely top-notch, outstanding, and 2 of them are right here today.
Meanwhile, McManus has made 3 field goals that have covered 156 yards. This time, just a little short kick, and that is covered up by Boyle make that. Boyle.
Well, how about this? Joe Flacco under pressure the whole time. 7 of 9, 27 yards. And you know what I say? He played a good first half because he didn't turn it over. He didn't get impatient. He didn't make a mistake that just put him into a hole that they won't be able to get out of. There's the numbers. Man, you're talking about Joe Flacco is one of the greatest home run hitters at the quarterback position in the NFL. You always have to be alert that he can throw it past the coverage, which they know really well here in Denver.
No question, they know that here.
They know that.
Timeout called by the Ravens. Let's see if they give it a shot down the field, maybe try to draw a pass interference, something like that, but take it from under center. Drop back and fling it. Out of bounds to end the half. Peyton Manning's got some pictures to carry in with him. 106 yards passing. Flacco, meanwhile, threw for 27 yards in that first half. Kind of hard to believe those numbers.
It is.
9-3, Denver leads it. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report. After this message and a word from your local station, you're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. A first half that saw the 2 defenses dominate the action. Broncos with their fewest first half yardage total. 114 first half yards in the Manning era at home, while for the Ravens 38 total yards, fewest and a half in 4 years. Actually surprised it's not even close to a franchise record with those kind of meager numbers. Let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Flacco just never had a chance to even find anyone. DeMarcus Ware dragging him down. What we thought could have been a horse collar call, but it wasn't. But what about Flacco? I think that play right there really was indicative of what he faced in the first half. He couldn't go down the field and never had the chance to find anyone.
Well, no, the pass protection was suspect almost every single time he dropped back. And I think that, so I couldn't judge the coverage. I want to see the coverage. I want to see Steve Smith down the field if he can get open. But by the time I look at him, Joe Flacco's under pressure getting rid of the football.
Now, Denver won the coin toss and deferred. That's an interesting story because of when Gary Kubiak was the offensive coordinator at Baltimore.
That's right. He always wanted the ball.
He would always talk to Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah,
say, let's take the football.
Yeah, when you're the head coach, everything changes, Jim. You know, because now it goes on your record for life if you win and lose, and so it's a little easier to make those calls when you're a coordinator.
Total yards between the two teams now being told the fewest yards and a half of an NFL game since 2011. All right, let's go back to talking about what you saw out of Peyton Manning in that first half. People wanted to know about the arm. What did you see?
Okay, I think the arm, what we saw in the first half, it was better than what we saw at the end of last year. Is his arm as sharp right now as it was the start of last year? I would say no. But let's look at it this way. The underneath passes, it's been pretty good. But he had two chances deep down the field. He overthrew them both. So when you talk about big plays for this Denver Bronco offense, they still have those chances. Peyton Manning's just got to hit them when the opportunity comes up.
Dropping back here, throwing it over the top of Emmanuel Sanders, who was on the receiving end of 6 passes in the first half for 52 yards, including 4 of them on third down situations that move the chains.
And also, let's just look at it this way. If you're a fan and you're home watching, yes, I'm going to give a lot of credit to this Baltimore defense. It's settled down. It's got a good rhythm with this offense. But it's a new offense for the Broncos. It's not as fast-paced and as hectic as we have seen the last 3 years under Peyton Manning.
Anderson, it's been a struggle for him, too. That's now 8 carries for 16 yards. No gain on that one. Let's go back down to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, thanks, Jim. I had a chance to speak with Gary Kubiak and asked him to assess Peyton Manning in the first half, and he said there were definitely those missed opportunities, but he liked how his offense stayed on the field. I also had a chance to speak with John Harbaugh, and he said he likes how his defense settled into the environment, but they need to use some more chips, some more tools to protect Joe Flacco better. Jim?
Well, I'm anxious to see if there's any way that either one of these two offenses are able to adjust here for the second half. The 3rd and 10. There's Manning's pass, and it is intercepted. It is Jimmy Smith taking it to the end zone for the touchdown.
That was well coordinated. Kyle Arrington on the blitz. It was late. They didn't see the defense shift around. Peyton Manning threw into it. Jimmy Smith reading the quarterback the whole way. Came off his guy and went up and made the play inside.
It was Arrington on a blitz who affected that deep pass in the first half. It could have gone for a touchdown, and now he sets up this one for his teammate, Jimmy Smith, coming back to Colorado, a CU kid from Boulder.
Yeah, the extra point. What a play, though, by Jimmy Smith, reading the quarterback, knowing the blitz was coming, and taking an advantage of the quick throw.
So, again, the long point after now this year. 15, Tucker. And the kick is good. And the Ravens have their first lead of the season at 10-9. Jimmy Smith over the top of Norwood. What a play and a touchdown. Peyton Manning has just been picked off. Watched it return for a touchdown by Jimmy Smith, the first touchdown of this game.
Well, it's a creative, scheming defense that's really big. That's how they get their pass pressure with blitzes. We said that, and they finally caught the Broncos and Peyton Manning.
Jimmy Smith in his 48th career game, the former first-rounder, with his first NFL touchdown.
Safety's late, change. Here he comes. The blitzer, Kyle Arrington's free. Watch the route and watch Jimmy Smith read the quarterback. The late, nobody there to pick up the blitzer. Kyle Arrington, Peyton Manning anticipates, and what a break by Jimmy Smith, seeing the football. And really, what a job kicking the ball up in the air and able to get the interception. But Dean Pease does a lot, keeps you on edge on the offensive side.
Hit the edge and just tossed down. That is Hillman being forced to the ground by Upshaw. No gain.
Jim, during the commercial, you brought up a good point. You go in there in halftime and you start talking about your defense, Baltimore. You say, you know what? There's Dean Pease, the defense coordinator. And you said, maybe we should tighten up and dare them to keep going deep. And it kind of looked that way the first couple throws we saw in the second half.
That's what I thought I saw on the first down throw. Absolutely had clamps on the receiver. Sanders on first down. And the third down, Smith didn't give any space at all.
Demaryius Thomas, top of the page, one-on-one with bump coverage.
2nd and 10. Batted in the air and incomplete. That's the third tip pass at the line of scrimmage today. That was the rookie Carl Davis out of Iowa. We got a hand on that one.
Oh, they like him as a player, but that time too. Nobody open, going across. Case in point, Ladarius Webb was all over Demaryius Thomas. What? Oh, there he is. I was going to show it big, but look, just not going to give up those short passes. So a little tighter coverage and a little bit different philosophy, more man-to-man here to start the second half.
Forcing a 3rd and 10. The pass. Demaryius Thomas, but he's going to be tackled short of the first.
Well, it's the short passing game. We saw this. We saw the playoff game last year against the Colts. The screens, all the little plays that worked so well. Not late last year and not really here today. Great job on the outside by Ladarius Webb, made him hesitate, and then everybody raining down from behind.
Colquitt, as much hang time here. Smith weaving up the middle. He's got a nice return out to the 40. 55 yards, but 22 of it coming back in the hands of Smith. Ravens have the football and the lead. It is not too late to play NFL.com Fantasy. Join, draft, and play from anywhere with the new and improved mobile app. Sign up free at NFL.com/fantasy. That starting point of the day for the Ravens at the 40. It's use check for about 7. It's a good drive starter for Baltimore. Give him 8.
Yeah, you want to be a quarterback in the NFL, sometimes you better double think it. Watch Joe Flacco. Coverage down the field, has to throw off his back foot. Why? Because here they come. Got to protect yourself.
On 2nd and 2, no huddle. They go for set. He's near it.
It's a good job. You got to do different things to get your offense back in rhythm. No huddle, different formations. Show the Denver defense something they didn't see in the first half. And Mark Trestman has a big play sheet, so I'm sure he can find a way to do it.
First down. What a tackle by Sylvester Williams. Throwing Forsett for a loss of a couple.
Yeah, they expect big things from him. Sylvester Williams inside because they let Terrence Knighton go, who is an unbelievable run stopper for this defense the last couple years. But that, and also, Jim, don't forget Derek Wolfe, probably their best run stopper, not in today's game because he was suspended.
Suspended for this game along with T.J. Ward. 2nd down and 11. Looking for Brown, and it's a nice turnaround catch by Marlon Brown. Biggest play of the day for this Ravens offense, 21.
Well, really Aqib Talib did Joe Flacco a favor. The coverage is outstanding, and since he bumped him, he knows he can get rid of it quick, so he just throws it behind him, back shoulder. Joe Flacco's great at it. Marlon Brown is a big receiver, 6'5", can make those kind of catches.
First play longer than 10 yards today for the Ravens. And that is Allen, the rookie for no gain. So they've come out this first series for this Ravens offense in the second half, and it's definitely got a different look.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible they didn't do any of this in the first half. So the Ravens went in, must have felt great the way the first half went. They made some adjustments. They withstood the early start.
Diving catch is made by Allen at the 25.
And the biggest thing of all, Jim, is what have they done that's the most important when you talk about the Ravens today, especially on offense. They haven't panicked. They played with great poise, and they're just waiting. And Mark Trestman's not putting the quarterback in a position where he's going to make that big, bad mistake that would have really hurt him in the first half.
Third down and 7. Juszczyk is their leading receiver today with 3 catches. Who would have guessed that? From the pocket, the pass incomplete. He was going for the rookie tight end Max Williams, and it was defended by Bruton.
Yeah, Bruton is all over it. I mean, they thought maybe tight end is one position, the Ravens did, that maybe we can make some plays against their safeties, and so far, not a chance.
Not a catch so far by any of the tight ends for the Ravens. Of course, they had only, between them all, a total of 10 career catches coming in, with Pitta on the PUP. And Owen Daniels, of course, coming over to Denver. So out comes Tucker. From 44 yards. Hook on the hold, and Justin Tucker high into the net. His 99th career field goal increases the lead to 4. Ravens have put up 10 points in the last 4.5 minutes as Matt Schaub looks over the shoulder of Flacco.
We're talking about 2 of the big-time quarterbacks in the NFL. Look at that, 200 yards at this point of the game between them. Well, not even 200 yards, short of that. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just go, it's all the offense. These defenses have been outstanding and are ready for everything that's been thrown at them so far.
Tucker into a little bit of a breeze in this direction. Still through the back of the end zone. All right, let's take a look at next-gen stats presented by Esurance.
Well, Jim, your assumptions were right. First half, look at Jimmy Smith against Demaryius Thomas. Gave him a cushion. 3rd and long, lets him catch it and pick up the first down. In the second half, different type of coverage, right on him tight. They're going to take away those short routes across the field.
From the gun with 4 wides. It's Hillman. And they have completely stopped the Bronco rushing attack so far.
Well, of course, that's what they want to do. They were 4th best in the NFL last year. I would have thought it was probably better than that. But they're so big, this defensive front. They all know how to get off blocks. It's really 5 defensive linemen. When you talk about Courtney Upshaw and Terrell Suggs, they want to, if they lose the game, they want to make Peyton Manning drop back and throw it down into tight coverage to win.
7 plays in this half by Denver for 8 yards, plus giving up a touchdown on the pick. And again, they're all over the ball carrier, Hillman. And that's Jimmy Smith, the touchdown maker, coming up, making the lateral move down the line and holds him to a yard.
They're so good up front. They're making them bounce at Jim, and then, of course, they got enough speed behind these big guys up front to make the tackles. They need Jimmy Smith to be one of those guys, like Chris Harris is for the Broncos, to be elite. So and today, most of the day, he has been terrific. The interception and tackling.
3rd, we'll call it 8. Going long and incomplete. No flag. Smith had great coverage on Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, good coverage, but that's what you got to see from this Bronco offense. They got it when they get tight coverage. They got to audible, do something, make them think that you're going deep so you can throw it back underneath later in the game.
Broncos have converted only 2 of their last 10 3rd down situations. Britton Colquitt starting to get busy in this game. He'll be matched up against his brother Dustin on Thursday night. The battle of punters. Over in Kansas City. Do a good one. Fielded by Kayvon Webster near the 15. "62-yard punt. On the road to the Bay Area for the February 7th, 50th edition of the Super Bowl on CBS. Flacco on first down. Slings it over to Forsett. Trying to shake a tackle. Fighting for every little extra inch as Corey Nelson holds on to him.
Baltimore evenly distributed, and look at that. The Denver Broncos, that doesn't surprise me either. Of course, we said early, of course they want to run it, but going against that defensive front, it was going to be tough.
7 yards on first down. Up the gut. And right into, this time, the arms of Malik Jackson. It'll set up 3rd and about 2 for Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore trying to manage the game and do whatever they can. When they throw it, play action, it's been quick out in the flat to the running backs. Malik Jackson's still down after that tackle. And even here, looks like he's going to be okay. In a situation like this, I would make Baltimore throw. In other words, crowd the line of scrimmage, either blitz, make him throw the football and see if he can have time and make the Ravens offense prove to him that they can get somebody open in this tight man-to-man coverage.
Steve Smith caught 2 passes in the first quarter, both of the short variety, total of 13 yards. Marlon Brown with a big catch on the last series for 22 that set up the field goal.
I thought we would see more formations and whatever to get Steve Smith one-on-one and see if he could just beat his man.
On 3rd down, they're coming after Flacco, who gets rid of it. No flag, and it's going to bring back out Cook.
Well, they did exactly what I thought they would do. They blitz up the middle. They're going to make Joe Flacco get rid of the football, and the coverage, it's outstanding by Aqib Talib. Well, he's got a little grip, but still, to me, that's no foul. That's the toughest route to cover in football. Crossing the field as a defensive back, can't do it better than that.
Denver this time sets 2 returners back deep. Andre Caldwell along with Emmanuel Sanders. Comes to Sanders. Up the middle, and a flag is out. Back at the 25-yard line. 55-yard punt, 14-yard return. Mosley on the tackle. But this might be coming back.
You know, one thing, Tim, as you watch Sanders grab that football, you got to find more ways to get it to him, don't you? I mean, he looks different.
That's why he's out there.
I mean, he looks different. He's so quick and fast and shifty.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, contact to the head or neck area. Return team number 48. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, Denver. Timeout.
Denver will start back inside of the 20. The call was on Shaq Barrett. Baltimore Ravens wideout Steve Smith Sr. took some time this offseason to get back to military children overseas. He traveled to Germany in April and held a camp for the kids there. Children of our military over in Germany. Here's a first down play action fake. Peyton connects with Anderson. His first catch of the game. It goes for 3.
Peyton goes down. Elvis Dumerville all over him.
Second half so far for the Broncos. 3 plays in the pick 6. 3 plays and a punt. 3 plays and a punt.
Well, they did that time. Play action. Got Peyton Manning deep. Hoping to throw a deep one down the sideline. But the Ravens, too smart, had two defenders on the one receiver to the open side.
Second and 7. Oh, that was almost intercepted. Should have been intercepted by Darryl Smith, but instead it's caught for 4 yards by Sanders.
Darryl Smith inside, watch 51, reads the quarterback, makes the break. Oh, yes. You watch it replay, it was even easier than it looked in regular speed. But that time, you see all the defenders, Jim, so many of them sitting short, looking for the short route.
A break for the Broncos, who at 3rd and short, we'll call it 3rd and 3, trying to pick up a first down for the first time in this half.
And you know what happens in a situation like this?
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
What happens here and what we're seeing is the confidence of the Ravens. They got the feel. They're seeing and believing. In other words, they're not hesitating. When they see the pass or Peyton look, they are going, making the tackles, covering these guys. And it's tough when you got a talented defense that's confident. You got to do something to break their confidence. What is that? Make a play down the field.
That's the 4th false start penalty on Denver in this game. 3rd and 8.
Leo. Omaha.
That time, he's got Sanders, and he's able to sprint out to the first down. Yes, they're going to mark it at the 25.
How about that? They got the perfect coverage on. It's designed to let him catch it, make the tackle. Kyle Arrington takes a bad angle, and Emmanuel Sanders maybe gets this drive going with that catch and turning it up the sideline.
Sanders' 5th conversion on 3rd down today.
You know what it was too, Jim? It was a 3-man rush.
8 catches. Yeah, there was no heat at all.
No heat.
8 catches now for Emmanuel, 65 yards.
Omaha.
Thrown into the ground toward Anderson. Saturday, it's the best game for the best conference when the SEC on CBS brings on Jeremy Johnson and the Tigers against Brandon Harris and the Bayou Bengals from Death Valley. Let's see who winds up top cat. The hoopla begins the college football today.
Pass protection, except for the mistakes they've made with blitz pickups, overall today has been exceptional, except for the blown assignments when guys just run free. So if they want to, they can give the quarterback time to throw it down the field.
Just beats the play clock. 2nd and 10, and that's the 4th sack of the game.
And of course, as I say it, the pocket just collapsed that time.
Chris Canty got to him.
Chris Canty, 99. I think this is him right here. Just watch him push back. No, it was 95. Chris Canty the other side. Sambrilo just couldn't get down inside to block him and push him past the quarterback.
Loss of 8.
Man, Terrell Suggs, you get him against a tight end. Did you see him just, hey, Suggs is a defensive lineman who's athletic enough to stand up and play linebacker.
3rd and 18. Four-man rush. Anderson into the arms of Jimmy Smith. They give him the underneath. Miles short of the first.
Well, that's the right thing to do. Situation like that, you don't take a chance and try to go down the field and make a mistake. But you want to go down the field. They're all reading the quarterback. There's really, you think, oh, look at that guy's open. No, they weren't open. They were going to make Peyton Manning throw it underneath and make the tackle.
Oakwood catch that one. Smith catches it while leaning out of bounds. Wiggles past a couple of Broncos to the 30. Actually went 55 yards. And Smith finding himself in a little exchange here with Bruton.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Aren't you, though?
Shocked. That's great.
Now looking back at some of the Super Bowl memories, one in particular, John Elway. He played in 5 Super Bowls in his career. He failed to win the big game his first 3 attempts, but finally broke through Super Bowl 32. Broncos taking down the Packers. And then again the next season. His final game going out a winner. Super Bowl 33 against the Falcons. course, Gary Kubiak was his offensive coordinator calling the plays.
That's right.
Both of those Super Bowl wins. This is Allen.
Oh boy, yeah, that's the first time I've seen a clear running lane. He just got he was too fast, Jim. Young running back just trying to get there too fast. If he'd have waited, as he tripped, but if he just stays back and waits, he is going to get through there untouched. Yeah, he fell on his own. So far, when you look at this game, the defensive linemen for both teams have been outstanding stopping the run game.
5, though, on the carry by Allen. Secures it again. Barrels ahead for the first down. He's looking very impressive when given the opportunity today. He did not have an impressive preseason.
You know, I know he didn't, but there was some, you and I have been talking about this for a couple days. When I watched it, he caught my eye. You know, and I know you saw him play a lot in college out at USC, but it's just the look he has that once he settles down and gets a feel for the game, and John Harbaugh said it, he thinks he can get something done and be good at this.
He was again taking about 3 Broncos with him for another 4 yards. He can catch the football too.
And again, as you watch this is the one thing that would bother me about the Broncos defense. And this is a little thing, that they're not the biggest defensive front. So if you can get it to a certain situation, maybe tire them out. You got a big offensive line. That's 3 plays in a row where they just kind of mushed them backwards to pick up yards.
After a total of 38 yards in the first half, they've got 58 in this quarter. They go to Forsett, and it's a loss of 1. But the Ravens survived that first quarter. Remember that opening drive by the Broncos? They kept it for 15 plays, held them to a field goal, and then they saw the Broncos kick another field goal. But ever since then, you can tell the Ravens have had the upper hand at the line of scrimmage.
No question on the defense. Once they survived that onslaught, they got in rhythm, and they saw what this Bronco offense was about. They took advantage of it. Big third down for this Broncos defense here. They need to get to the quarterback and make him throw it away.
He hasn't converted on his last 7 third down attempts. And he's intercepted by Talib. Aqib Talib has to beat Flacco, and he weaves back to the middle and finds the end zone. Matching pick sixes in this game.
Joe Flacco could not have seen it clean. It was a blitz. He threw it before he wanted. Aqib Talib reads the quarterback better than any corner in the league. That's what would scare me as a quarterback throwing against him. He's watching you.
Wow, changing the game just like that. Aqib Talib, 51-yard interception return, and McManus now on the extra point, drills it dead center.
Well, here we go. It's the blitz. Joe Flacco feels the blitz, knows he has single on the outside. So he's going to go to his guy. Watch the linebackers blitz. Here's the single out here. Watch it come under. Let's watch Talib. Good oh my gosh, he's looking at the quarterback the whole way. And Steve Smith Sr. has got to know to get underneath Aqib Talib. But you know, Talib's a big corner, and he couldn't get there. You saw Joe Flacco there, Jim, falling backwards, trying to flick it forward. Hey, that's what you do. You got a great defense. It's okay. Offense is sputtering. Go out there and let's make a play. And Wade Phillips, he helped them make the play by giving them a really aggressive play call.
Von Miller. And that Broncos defense celebrating as Talib has his 7th career interception return for a touchdown.
Well, that'll get the fans back in their seats at least.
Well, it's been quiet.
Whoa. And empty.
And very, very similar in the decibel level that we saw last January in the divisional round when Andrew Luck and the Colts came in here and ended their season.
Well, the offense might not be what we saw last year for the Broncos, but I think this defense, it's going to be better. Right now, the defense is winning the game.
Just 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Well, week one again continues tonight with Giants and the Cowboys. ESPN doubleheader on Monday Night Football. And then we're along with NFL Network, CBS, Thursday night, Denver at Kansas City.
How great is that going to be? I don't even want to get going
raucous.
there. But you know,
coming off the performance by the Chiefs today?
Yeah. But this game, this is exciting because everything is so hard and every play can go either way.
A game without an offensive touchdown. It's Buck Allen for one.
You know one thing, Buck Allen better put two hands on that football.
Heading to the fourth quarter. And the Broncos back ahead, 16-13. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
No matter the cost, we're
It was some quarter of action. No kidding. Baltimore puts up 10 on a pick six and a field goal. And Denver comes back with Talib's pick six. What a game.
If you can't do it on offense, there's nothing wrong with just let your defense, which you think is going to be great, put them in position to be aggressive and make a play.
Ravens start the fourth quarter. A little toss now to Max Williams, the rookie tight end from Minnesota. He was the first tight end taken in the draft this year. And this 21-year-old, one of the youngest players in the league, was selected with the 55th overall pick, round 2. 15 yards gain on his first NFL catch. Dad's got to be proud of that. His dad, Brian Williams, used to snap the football in the NFL to Phil Simms.
That's right.
The middle, Allen, nothing there, maybe a yard.
I think the Ravens, you just saw that graphic of the young tight ends, Jim. I think they're pretty happy knowing that down the road they got a group that's going to be able to make plays, catch the football. They're tough guys. They'll be able to block. So, you know, their offense over the years, the tight end's always been such a big part. They need these young guys to grow up fast.
And you saw Nick Boyle there. He was taken in the 5th round out of Flacco's alma mater, Delaware. 2nd and 9. Flacco still on his feet and able to throw it across the middle, incomplete. Looking for Campanaro. There was pressure coming on from Von Miller.
Oh my gosh, right from the start. Von Miller, actually, watch top of your screen, 58. Just, thought he threw it and still able to recover and make Joe Flacco still get rid of it. Boy, that is, you know, it's going against Ricky Wagner, who is a very athletic and good right tackle.
Got to be pretty strong. The quarterback to be able to hold on to that football. With Von Miller getting a couple of hands on it. 3rd and 9. Looking for Smith. Incomplete.
Well, it was there. He was open. But they thought that there's going to be more pressure. And DeMarcus Ware, I think he's the 194 that makes Joe Flacco throw it too far in front. So, you know, listen, if you get hit upside the head every play, well, what do you expect the next play? Like, oh, it'll be good protection this time? It gets into the head of the quarterback, and no question, that affected Joe Flacco's throw.
So now the Ravens have failed to convert on their last 9 third downs. Cook. Mild pressure. Big boot. Flag is out.
Notice these end-over-end kicks today by both teams. I swear I don't think I've ever seen teams do this.
Especially by Cook.
It might. Is it the altitude? Or is it just a new way they're going to kick it? I see it in college all the time, but I've never seen it this consistently in the pros.
Well, you're talking about 2 of the best here.
Well, that's
Cole
true too.
Cook coming off just a monster year last year, where his net average was best in the league, 43.3.
During the kick, holding, return team number 36. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, Denver.
Or this penalty against the Broncos will mean they'll start somewhere near the 4-yard line.
Look how he drops it. There you go.
Booted at 57 yards. Well, let's take a look at these next-gen stats presented by Esurance.
Look at that route against Ladarius Webb down the field and get that much separation. And then Emmanuel Sanders, look at that speed, which we've seen all day long.
Fastest player on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't care about that watch or anything. My eye doesn't lie. Now it's up to this Ravens defense. Can they, with this field position, create an opportunity for their offense like Denver did?
Dropping back into the end zone. Manning's pass complete to Demaryius Thomas for 8 yards. Gives him a little bit of safety.
Well, you can see most of the time, except for the one time when I said it, he got sacked, that Peyton, unless he's blitzed, this offensive line is going to pass protect him and protecting him well. So with that excellent pass protection, the defense spreads out. That's why a pass like that one is so wide open underneath.
Second and 2. Anderson for no gain. Longest plays of the day come from the two defenses.
How about that?
The 2 touchdowns. The only touchdowns. The longest drive of the day, by the way, was the first time the Broncos touched it this season. It went 48 yards. 48 yards, 15 plays to go 48 yards, leading to a 57-yard field goal. 3rd and 1.
Omaha! 12! Omaha!
Run for it, and Anderson has it. It's out near the 20. Gain of 5. That matches his longest carry of the day. Gives him now 11 rushes for 22 yards, and he hobbles off the field.
Grabbing his, looks like his ribs. Good check by Peyton Manning. Good read. Takes his time, cuts it back.
Ronnie Hillman comes in for him.
RJD! RJD! Hot, hot, hot!
Here's Hillman. He's got a hole. And he's got a first down out to the 30. Broncos' longest carry today. Paradis, the center, helps bring him for 11.
Yeah, he's good. Good athlete. Tough as they come. Watch 61. Gets up the field and gets on the linebacker. The Baltimore defense trying to be a little too creative. And they waited till the snap and they all ran off. And Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak, they had the perfect run play on against that defense.
So a drive that began at the 4, now out to the 30. Hillman, patient, cuts back, gets 8, maybe 9. Well, your weekend starts here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Peyton and the Broncos against Alex Smith and the Chiefs, right here on your home of Super Bowl 50.
Good job by the defense, the backside. You know, in other words, when the running back's going parallel like that, it's for the people who are away from the football come and make the tackle, and they didn't close it down fast enough. One of them was 94 right there. Carl Davis, rookie, has to learn to do that a little better.
2nd and 1. Hillman with 3 consecutive impressive carries. He's got another first down. Again, running behind Paradis, who came out of Boise State and was on the practice squad all last year at Denver. Never got a chance to come up and play.
Well, you know, Jim, that's right. He was the most valuable player on the practice squad or whatever. It was a fun thing, but it tells you what they thought of his talent, how hard he works. What Peyton Manning says, he's just a really tough dude. And he goes, I can't wait till he turns around to me one day and says, shut up, Peyton. This is what we're going to do. I don't think we're ever going to see that day.
He's a yes sir, no sir kind of a kid.
RJD! Hot, hot, hot!
Tillman. Play seemed out of sync right away. Hill decks him for a loss of 1, but the Broncos, even with that loss on that play, have rushed for more yards on this drive than they had for the entire game before this series.
This has been a successful drive. They have changed field position. They're tiring this defense out, and most of all, if they do have to punt no matter where, they're going to make that Ravens offense have to go a long way. So
Anderson thought he was going to get back into the game, but they're going to go with the spread formation here, empty out the backfield on 2nd and 11. Norwood, Caldwell both come in along with Sanders and Thomas. If he beat the play clock. No, I don't think he did. There's the flag.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd and 16.
Yeah, but you think about this drive, just to go over this real quick, backed up against a really good run defense, Jim, and they ran the football out of trouble. Oh, yeah, it's not close. It hit 0. The referee looks up. They see a 0 on the clock. Throw the penalty.
3 wides now. C.J. Anderson back in. Arrington threatening to blitz, but backs off, and the pass complete to Marius Thomas to the 47. And a gain of 11. That's his 6th catch for 50 yards.
Looks like Suggs is down.
He's holding his left leg.
Could be a cramp too in this heat, as big as he is.
A little skydiving during the pregame festivity. I still don't know how they do that. Drop out of the sky and land inside of a stadium.
Doesn't even interest me. My days of, what do you call it? Of seeking
thrill
thrills,
seeking. Yeah.
They are over.
When did they start, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, what do you mean?
After being with you for 12 years, did I miss something?
Well, wait. I played. Reggie White hit me. Is that a big enough thrill? Yeah.
Got paid to do that.
Well, here they come. I thought maybe they would not blitz in this situation, but they're going to, and it's tight man-to-man coverage.
3rd and 5. Time for Manning. Lobs it over the top, and he's going to generate a flag on Webb. Webb trying to defend on Sanders.
Well, this is what Peyton Manning's so great at over the years. Tight coverage.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic.
So it's not going to be an interference call, just going to be the short mark off, but the first down nonetheless.
I thought so. You know, when you see that, yeah, it's definitely a hold. The arm bar, they were expecting blitz. That's why they had that double move on. It was a great call and really a good job by Webb stopping a really big play or maybe even a touchdown.
Football now moves to the Baltimore side of the field. Again, it began back at the 4. A drive that now is right at about 6 minutes.
Oh, he did it. His snap count. He saw the blitz.
Hillman keeps on his feet inside the 40. And let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. We saw Terrell Suggs limp off the field. Well, now he's trying to limp to the locker room. It is a left foot injury. They're going to further evaluate him inside. It looks as though they're going to bring the cart out now to try and take him in. So just something to keep an eye on.
Wow, that is big.
That is right.
For the former defensive player of the year in the whole league back in 2011. 2nd and 1. And now on this one drive, the Broncos, for the first time today, have established a rushing attack, mainly because of Hillman.
Suggs, number 55 on. There he comes across. Oh, yeah, he got bent under a little. Right away, too.
From the 36, with 6.5 to play. Anderson. Hit first by Mosley and finished off by Arrington and Upshaw for 2.
Well, they're in field goal range already, Jim. Now you're trying to stop a touchdown if you're this Baltimore defense. Look at the rushing yards on this drive. Probably the most crucial drive of the day. They're so backed up, and this is an impressive drive by the play calling, but especially the offensive line, the blocking of this defensive front.
Go up top this time on 2nd and 8. Anderson. Smith on him. Smith able to hold him down. Darrell Smith was joined by Jimmy Smith. It's combined on a 2-yard gain. That's it, holding him to that. There's Suggs heading in. And this drive now is past 8 minutes long. And they've lost, really in many ways, the heart and soul of that defense.
Well, yeah, he's a big leader, good player, smart. You know, we hear everybody talking about right here. You got to take a chance. You got to play tight and try to save time for your offense in case they need to drive down and score a touchdown if you're the Ravens defense.
3rd and 6. Over to Thomas. Blockers in front. First down to the 22. Not sure Peyton ever had a clean hold of that football, but he got rid of it for 10.
Here they come. Look at that side. 3 blitzers. They read it right. They had the wide receiver screen on, Jim. We've seen it so many times over the year. They are the best in football at throwing wide receiver screens against the blitz. And you get it into the hands of Demaryius Thomas, who can take a little play and make it big.
Well, this is a big thing right here, too. Thomas in agony on the sideline as he got dinged on the tackle. First down carry, C.J. Anderson. Barreling inside the 20.
You know, you look at this, just Thomas on the sideline, this opening day game. We talked about it coming in there. Tracy's opening report was about it. Playing more plays than they played in preseason. Most of these guys have played more plays today than they did in the 4 preseason games. The heat, the expectations, the emotion, all that goes into it. Makes you vulnerable here late in the game.
We're inside 4 minutes to go in the game, and this is the first red zone snap of the entire game by either side. And now they're outside the 20. We got one in today anyway.
There you go. We got one. What a play by Will Hill. That's what you needed, a big play on the defensive side to get a situation where Peyton Manning and this Bronco offense is not in control.
How about Demaryius Thomas is back in? Made it a little adjustment. Looked to be in pain. Took his shoe off, put it back on, and he's coming in for this crucial 3rd and 9 with the clock running at 3:20. Ravens have to hold them to a field goal. They have kept this football for approaching now 11 minutes. Timeout called by the Broncos. Gary Kubiak's first game on the Denver sideline as the head coach, and he's seen his offense establish the longest drive in 21 years.
If you don't blitz, I don't think you can pressure the quarterback. That's going to give Peyton a lot of time to look over and find an open receiver.
Huge 3rd and 9 here. And it's Anderson tackled short of the first.
And it was a blitz, and that was a great recovery to stop Anderson from getting the first down.
They're going to run the clock down, but it's going to have to be a McManus moment coming up.
Absolutely. Boy, good job, Darrell Smith. Man, he had a good day today, and what hustle right there by Lawrence Guy, 93, getting from behind to stop the first down.
Well, the clock stopped because Baltimore took a timeout, leaving them with 2.
Well, let me just say this. You saw that drive? Now, that was a rare, incredible, time-consuming drive, but I think it shows you what this Denver offense could be like this year.
Well, Anderson, they're going to need him to be healthy to keep a ball control offense, if that's what it's going to look like the rest of the year. They keep it for about 11 minutes and a little bit longer. I know this, Denver took that timeout before the 3rd down and gave a very fatigued Baltimore defense a chance to catch his breath before that huge play.
Yeah, no question.
McManus from 33 yards, and the kick is good. He's had quite a day. 4 for 4. But Flacco and the Ravens still have a chance, holding him into 3. That's the 19-13 Denver lead. And that drive of 10:56 by time is the longest drive of Peyton Manning's career.
It's pretty unbelievable after all those years. I know he's played for so many quick strike teams. They did try a couple times to look for the big play in that drive, but timely. A lot of credit to the offensive line, which a lot of people had question marks about.
Peyton throwing for 175 yards on 24 of 40. Joe Flacco, he's won in the clutch here before, as we all know. Early headlines on this first Sunday. What a performance by Jarvis Landry. Dolphins win in D.C. And the Rams win in overtime against Seattle in a wild one. And congratulations, Rex Ryan, debuting with a win in Buffalo. Really up on the Colts throughout. Flacco down the middle for 9 to Crockett Gilmore, their starting tight end out of Colorado State.
You know, I just thought, as they do this 2-minute offense or moving it, that's good. But I just thought we'd see more double teams on Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware today to give Joe Flacco extra time to throw. Haven't seen it.
2nd and 1. Picking up huge yardage with that is Forsett. For the first down, gain of 9. Can Flacco come into this building and break their hearts again?
Well, listen, you give him the chance and give him enough protection in his drive, he can get it done.
And out into the flats. We'll use up the clock and lose a couple. Brandon Marshall all over him. 2-minute warning.
Quick pressure again, nothing he could do.
And this crowd has been brought to life during the break. Trying to lend some support here for the final 2 minutes for their defense. As Flacco's pass is thrown in the direction of Gilmore, incomplete.
Well, every throw that I watch Joe Flacco throw, it has a common denominator, that he knows the pressure is coming and he can't get comfortable enough to really give it that extra beat to see it and then throw it in between everybody.
4 down territory, 3rd and 12. Ravens with 2 timeouts. Going to Brown, doesn't pick up much. It's going to be 4th and long. This is real issue with the Ravens with their rookie Rashad Perriman, who they took in the first round, out with a knee strain. They just don't have that speed on the outside like they used to, when he pulled it off here before, when they had the likes of Torrey Smith and Jacoby Jones, plus Anquan Bolden. Steve Smith just hobbled off the field. He's not available for this 4th down play, and he's their best wideout.
Well, let's see if this offensive line can give Joe Flacco enough time to throw it to the first down marker.
Got to get to the 48 for the first. It's 4th down. Flacco zings it. He's got the first down to Gilmore. He bounces around. He took a big hit and still stood tall. Darian Stewart was the one who hit him, former Raven. I think Stewart may have been hurt on the hit.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, oh my gosh, he anticipated that throw so much, Jim. He caught it and threw it. The receiver wasn't even close to getting out of the break, right on the money.
So they convert on 4th and 9, and Flacco goes across the middle, incomplete. Incomplete. Forsett never had a clean handle on it. Marshall knocked it out. Would have burned up a lot of time anyway. Next week, regional action. Some will see San Diego, Cincinnati. How about New England and Buffalo? Baltimore takes on Oakland, plus other regional action. And it all starts with our guys from the studio who will be taking us to Super Bowl 50. Smith, now after missing the last 2 snaps, is back in with the game on the line with 1:16 remaining. Second down play, and it's complete to Campanaro. And he's going to be 2 yards short of the first, but got out of bounds with 1:10.
Still plenty of time. I think what happens in so many of these drives, everybody thinks they can get a playoff quicker than they can when the football's tackled inbounds. So if it's tackled inbounds, I think you use that timeout immediately to save the time on the clock.
He's got Smith on the right side. Talib's going to be eyeing him. 3rd and 2, toss, Forsett. Blockers in front, he's got the corner. Forsett down the sideline and inside the 20-yard line.
Caught him in a defense. Wade Phillips sitting the blitz. What a call to go outside. Look at the crack down inside. In other words, the block by Steve Smith that allowed Forsett to get outside.
A couple of Bronco defenders actually got in the way of one another.
Good job by the offensive lineman hitting the ground, make them jump. The running back gets around to the outside.
And now the Ravens will have their first snap of the game inside the red zone. Hard to believe. Only the second for the entire game on both sides. And it's Juszczyk. Did he get out? No. He's in the field of play for no gain. And there is a timeout called by the Ravens.
A 30-second timeout.
That was the call of the game so far for the Ravens offense by Mark Trestman. That pitch outside, catching them in the blitz, and then executing it so well to put them in this position where they're going to have a chance.
That play plus the 4th and 9 without Steve Smith on the field to be able to connect with Crockett Gilmore. Yeah. But look at this play, how well it was executed.
Yeah, really well done. Yeah, you're right. What am I talking about? The 4th down play.
Here's the 4th down play, Phil.
Just watch Joe Flacco. He is throwing the ball. Look at the tight end. Get not even close to coming out of the break and put it right on the money.
Forsett split wide to the right. Smith in a slot to the right. Flacco with pressure. Lobs it. Incomplete. He had bodies all over him. Arms that were in the way, and Steve Smith was the intended target, but Talib had him covered up anyway. Ware slow to get up.
Coming from the outside, he fills him, he steps up, and still barely gets the football off. Look, they're spreading the field. These pass rushers know there's nobody that can double team them, and that's why they're getting to him so quick.
Broncos are charged a timeout because Ware needs some attention from the training crew. He got hit by Von Miller.
Yeah.
And now he's walking off. We've seen now DeMarcus Ware dinged. Demaryius Thomas, he doesn't look 100%. C.J. Anderson's been hobbling. And the Broncos will be playing on the road at Kansas City in 4 days. Shaquille Barrett comes in for DeMarcus Ware. A big 3rd and 9 for the Ravens. Time for Flacco. Pass incomplete. Is there a flag? Yes. It does come out on Bruton. The Ravens sideline was in hysteria, just waiting for that flag to come out.
Pass interference defense. Number 30. Spot foul automatic. First down.
Yeah, but it's a good call. It looked like it live. The back arm is there. He's in great position to knock it down, but he grabs him, and hey, that time you said it, Jim. Shaquille Barrett and Shane Ray, the backups are in, and that pocket still collapsed as fast as you can run back to the quarterback.
It's only a 2-yard penalty, but most importantly, instead of it being 4th down, it's 1st down. It is 1st down because of the penalty at the 17 with 46 seconds to go. Flacco hit again, and that's got to be incomplete. Come on back, Antonio, and it's going to be an incompletion. He got hit by Von Miller.
Still waiting for Von Miller to be double teamed. So I shouldn't say that. They were sliding to him. They had two offensive linemen going towards him, but they still couldn't keep him from getting around the outside.
DeMarcus Ware, he wasn't out for long. He's back in.
Running back needs to chip DeMarcus Ware, double team Von Miller, give Joe Flacco a chance to throw the ball down the field.
Going to the end zone. Oh, and Smith had his hands on it for a moment. Roby came over to make it that much more difficult.
I think it hit him right in the face mask. They switch. Great job. He's open. And Steve Smith lost sight of the football when Roby jumped up. Oh, looked like it could have been just tipped.
Wow.
That was a great job of giving your receivers a chance. Play action pass. Keep some guys in. Gave Flacco time.
Now third down. Over the top he goes. The man is there. And it is intercepted. Ball game for the Broncos. And the former Raven, Darian Stewart, has the interception to seal it.
It's a blitz. They got another good play on. But look at the coverage. That time, Jim, by Bruton. And as you watch this game, of course, it's just appropriate that the defense ends up winning it. I mean, they were terrific. They didn't back off. Wade Phillips, he's been in so many of these games. He's not afraid. He kept being aggressive on the defensive side, and it won the game today for the Denver Broncos.
And how does that feel for Darian Stewart, who had 14 starts for the Ravens last year? Their secondary was much maligned last year. They didn't have a place for him and let go, and comes to Denver via free agency.
Well, he was flying around out there today. He made some big hits. So you know it was emotional, and can't get any bigger than that to win the game with the interception.
David Bruton helped to the sideline. Another Bronco getting nicked in this game. But Denver is going to escape with the win. A game that did not feature an offensive touchdown. 4 field goals by Brandon McManus, and the game-changing interception return for a touchdown by Aqib Talib. And then the game saver by Darian Stewart.
What a game, really, what a game. So played so hard, emotional opening game of the year. Defenses were outstanding.
Peyton Manning walks off 24 of 40, 175. That Denver defense with 2 interceptions and, of course, the touchdown. And did not allow a touchdown in this game and gave up only 173 yards, that Bronco defense. Let's go down to Tracy.
I'm here with Aqib Talib, and Aqib, your interception for the touchdown, the game changer, and then Stewart, the interception to seal it. What can you say about this defense, how you had to carry the offense today?
Both of the turnovers was premium looks. It's something that we studied all week, and it was something that they did all through the preseason, both interceptions. So it was great. It was just great film study by the defense.
Are you surprised by the struggles the offense had today?
What they had, let me tell you. 219, they could play better. We play them in practice all the time, so we definitely know they can play better. But, I mean, it's a new offense, you know what I'm saying? Peyton under center, they getting used to it. They'll definitely get it rolling, though.
Quick turnaround. We'll see you on Thursday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And 219 he's referring to as total offense by the Broncos. Gary Kubiak, a winner in his debut as the Denver head coach.
Got to be emotional for him to come back here with John Elway as an ex-player to win against the team he coached with last year.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. Big Brother, Madam Secretary, CSI Cyber. For Phil, Tracy, and all the crew. Jim Nance saying so long from Denver. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. JB and the crew coming up from New York. After this, we'll see you Thursday night.